without a home or a family tree.
Is Bojack Horseman promoting depression? Bojack Horseman is nothing but some visuals that give you anxiety and depression. What? Not us, but many people say it. Most think that it's just promoting depression. Then why is it so popular? What's something you don't know about it? Let's unveil some interesting facts around this. The TV series Bojack Horseman has received high praise for its realistic presentation of mental health problems like depression. The show's commitment to discussing issues related to mental health has led to a growing belief that it somehow promotes or encourages depression. In this video, we will see if Bojack Horseman is really promoting depression, or if there's something else on the downside of the table. But before that, ensure you've subscribed to our channel and liked the video. Well, no offense, but Bojack Horseman is one of the most depressing animated series, and is always riding the waves of emotions with a dash of dark humor. But the sexiest thing about this show is that it stands out when it comes to fighting depression or anxiety. One of the many reasons that people love Bojack Horseman is because of his ability to blend humor and emotionally impactful storytelling. So, first things first, let's introduce our eponymous protagonist, Bojack Horseman. He's a washed-up sitcom star, a talking horse with more emotional baggage than an airport carousel. Bojack navigates the showbiz world, grappling with his past mistakes, addiction, and mental health struggles. It's safe to say that Bojack's life is one big emotional roller coaster, and we're just along for the ride.
Without a home or a family tree, we were lost and now we're found and we're horsing around.
Bojack Horseman is a guy who's had a life wilder than a rodeo on roller skates. He's had more ups and downs than a malfunctioning elevator, and his journey has more twists than a contortionist in a pretzel factory. This poor horse has stumbled upon more setbacks than a clumsy foal trying to walk for the first time, and he's ended up in a tornado of self-destructive shenanigans. All these wild adventures have left Bojack with a belief so stubborn it could rival a mule with a bone to pick. He's convinced that change is as rare as spotting a unicorn in the middle of Times Square. Yep, you heard it right. He thinks his flaws are etched in stone, like a tattoo that won't wash off no matter how many bubble baths he takes. It's like he's trapped in a never-ending carousel, going round and round, chasing his own tail and unable to break free from the clutches of his past. But hey, let's not naysay the power of the mind here. Deep down, there's a glimmer of hope, a flicker of possibility. Bojack yearns for change, even if he's more skeptical than a horse at a magic show. He wants redemption, a chance to break free from the shackles that hold him back.
Princess Carolyn, I have to fix this before Diane gets home. Things have been a wee bit shaky with us ever since she pretended to be out of the country for 2 months.
So, now let's talk about the incredible transformation of Bojack Horseman into the ultimate friend material. Now, we all know that Bojack wasn't exactly the poster child for friendship in the beginning. He was more like a grumpy horse who couldn't find his way out of a paper bag. But of course, life is full of surprises, and Bojack's journey is no exception. First off, let's talk about empathy. You see, Bojack used to be as empathetic as a rock, but over time, he started to realize that being a good friend means actually caring about other people's feelings. It's like a light bulb went off in his equine brain, and he realized that the world doesn't revolve around him. So he ditched his self-centered ways and started listening to his pals, lending a hoof when they needed it most. Next up, we've got communication. Bojack used to be about as open as a clam, keeping his feelings locked up tighter than a jar of pickles. But guess what? Friendship is all about sharing, and Bojack learned that the hard way. He started opening up, expressing his thoughts and emotions like a horse who just discovered the power of words. And let me tell you, it made a world of difference. His friends finally understood him better, and he felt a weight lifted off his broad, horsey shoulders.
Todd, clean up your shit.
You know I had sex with Emily.
Well, Bojack's rehab period would certainly say wasn't the best time of all time, and might be a trigger for some people as well. Bojack, the master of self-sabotage, thought rehab would be a walk in the park, like a spa day for his troubled soul. Oh boy, was he in for a surprise! Rehab turned out to be more like a whirlwind of emotions, a tornado of therapy sessions, and enough self-reflection to make Socrates say, Whoa, slow down. While Bojack hoped Rehab would magically cure his blues, it actually had the opposite effect. It was like adding fuel to the fire of his melancholy. The poor guy found himself knee-deep in group therapy sessions, dissecting his past mistakes like a CSI detective examining a crime scene. It triggered memories, unearthed buried emotions, and turned his brain into a merry-go-round of self-doubt. Now, you might be wondering, how in the world could that trigger trauma in fans? Well, let me tell you, the power of Bojack's story is as strong as a horse on a sugar rush. Fans, just like Bojack, started to confront their own past traumas, reflect on their struggles, and contemplate the meaning of life. It was like a collective therapy session, but with more laughter and ridiculous horse puns. Bojack's journey resonated with fans on a deep level. They saw themselves in his flawed and complex character, finding solace in knowing they weren't alone in their battles. But let's not forget, this is a comedy drama show, so even in the midst of triggering moments, there were absurdities and funny escapades that reminded fans to keep a sense of humor. Talking about Bojack's relationship with Diane, the human writer with a love for wordplay and a knack for getting herself into all sorts of awkward situations.
Hey, so listen, I really want to be here for you in your time of need, but I'm not really good with funerals or death or families or feelings or people.
Don't worry, you can wait in the car.
These two were like oil and vinegar, constantly clashing and bickering. It was like watching a comedy duo trying to one-up each other with sarcastic jabs and witty banter. You see, Diane had this uncanny ability to see through Bojack's facade. She wasn't afraid to call him out on his horse manure. She saw the potential for greatness buried beneath his layers of self-destruction. And let's not forget Bojack's charm, which was as smooth as a baby's bottom covered in butter. He had this strange allure that made it hard for Diane to write him off completely. Bojack, with his baggage-filled past, struggled to believe that he could truly change. He was like a stubborn mule, resisting any notion of personal growth. It took Diane's relentless persistence, along with a few absurd misadventures, to chip away at his hardened exterior. Slowly but surely, Bojack started to realize that maybe, just maybe, he could be better. It was like watching a light bulb flicker above his horse head, accompanied by a chorus of angels singing "Hail." He decided to take those first wobbly steps toward change. Stumbling and tripping along the way, of course.
In a way, that salad bowl was me, and the cracks were also me. Ugh, it sucks, I'm sorry.
Dealing with Diane's depression was like riding a bucking bronco for Bojack. He wanted to be there for her, to offer support and be the shoulder she could lean on. But let's face it, horses aren't exactly known for their delicate emotional sensitivity. So, Bojack did what any self-respecting horse would do. He dove headfirst into the world of self-help books, therapy sessions, and inspirational quotes, like a horse devouring a fresh bale of hay. Armed with his newfound knowledge and a heart full of good intentions, he set out to rescue Diane from the clutches of depression. But here's the thing about depression, my friend. It's a tricky beast, like a chameleon that changes colors faster than a racehorse on caffeine. Bojack soon realized that he couldn't simply fix Diane's depression with a witty one-liner or a grand gesture. Depression was a formidable opponent, and it required more than just horse sense to navigate. Instead, Bojack learned the art of listening. He became a master of the empathetic nod and the there pat on the back. He sat with Diane in her moments of darkness, offering a comforting presence like a trusty steed standing by its rider. Bojack Horseman uses comedy as a coping strategy and a technique to get through the challenging aspects of life. Finding humor in the midst of hardship and a ray of hope in the most hopeless circumstances are similar. The program strikes a fine balance by dealing with serious issues without making them seem insignificant, and keeps us laughing even while we cry.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Oh, good one. Pretending not to know your old friend, Mr. Peanut Butter?
Then we have the famous duo, Bojack and Mr. Peanut Butter, who were the epitome of opposites attract. While Bojack brooded in his dark cloud of existential dread, Mr. Peanut Butter bounced around with the energy of a hyperactive puppy on a sugar rush. They were like yin and yang, peanut butter and jelly, or should I say, horse and dog? But beneath the surface, their friendship held a certain charm. They challenged each other in unexpected ways, like a dog teaching a horse to wag its tail. Mr. Peanut Butter's relentless optimism often clashed with Bojack's pessimism. resulting in comedic misunderstandings and moments of profound wisdom. Bojack might really be all fun and helping, but amidst the laughter, Bojack's struggles hit close to home for many. His self-destructive tendencies, substance abuse, and perpetual state of discontentment are all too relatable. It's like looking in a mirror and seeing a horse staring back at you, thinking, yep, that's me on a Monday morning. Through Bojack's escapades, the show doesn't shy away from exploring the depths of depression. It's like a stand-up routine that makes you laugh, cry, and question your own existence, all in one sitting. It's a bizarre mix of laughter and introspection, like a therapy session hosted by a talking horse. Bojack might really be a trigger to a lot of people, but if we speak honestly, it truly teaches us how to fight our hidden demons. Well, let's just say he's got our back either way. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to keep updated on what recent boundary was pushed. Thanks for watching!